Mary, of course Shannon Airport is a critical point of entry for tourists to Ireland generally, west of Ireland in particular, and it hasn't been easy the last couple of years. How is the current year looking with arrivals?
It's a very mixed year and the market remains very challenging. However, since the end of Q1, we're beginning to see a slight recovery in the numbers. We're showing modest growth year on year, and that's encouraging for the future. If we look at our markets, the UK market is our biggest market. We're beginning to see a recovery in the inbound tourists.
That's good.
Particularly the Queen's visit, I think has reinvigorated the whole tourism product, and it's an opportunity for us to go back out and sell ourselves in the west of Ireland. So, and we've also had additional services launched by Aer Lingus Regional over the past 12 months, and some of those routes are actually performing quite well.
Yeah, that's terrific.
So in general, we have reasonable connectivity into the UK.
Good. How about continental Europe?
Continental Europe is an area that we're quite focused on, really trying to improve our services in there. It's a very important market, particularly with the trend in having shorter breaks. Direct access is very, very important.
Critical,
Yes, and we're really trying to draw in, particularly if you look at areas like Germany, and get the German tourists back into the west of Ireland. If we look at the packages that are on offer, the golfing, the walking, the fishing, they would all be very traditionally
even the Shannon cruising, the river cruising.
Absolutely, you know, and we really do need to try and improve the access so we get those tourists back into the west, and that should help to address the decline that we've seen over the past few years in the overseas visitors to the west of Ireland.
And of course, like most industries, we're impatient when things are difficult, but it takes a little time. It's not as simple as just turning on new routes overnight, but you're working away at trying to encourage new ones, but we may have to wait maybe some months or into next year.
Absolutely. We're working on 2012, summer 2012 at this stage. We've presented a number of business cases to our partner airlines, and what's very important is the collaborative approach, and we're working with the tourism agencies, particularly Tourism Ireland, to partner with us so that we're going in with a unified package, unified approach to the carrier, and helping to demonstrate the demand that's there for services into this part of the country.
And how about transatlantic? That's been a focus of a lot of discussion and debate on open skies and what have you. How is that doing this year? The
US market is still a key market for Shannon,
of course,
and for the entire region. And even post open skies, we've still retained quite strong services into the east coast of the United States, and we have services daily with Continental into Newark, and they've increased the frequency for the summer, so they have 11 services a week.
And they're staying for the winter as well.
And they're staying throughout, that's a year-round service. Delta are operating into JFK for the summer season. Now we would hope that that service would remain year-round, but it looks unlikely in the current climate that we'd be able to hold it for the winter.
But at least they will be back next year.
They will be back, it's a seasonal service at the moment. And then we have Aer Lingus operating Boston and JFK, but we know there's strong market demand for Chicago and Atlanta, and we're working with carriers to try and bring those services back for 2012-13.
That would be terrific. And what about the product on the ground? Not just in the Shannon area, but in the West generally. I mean, are you comfortable that the product we have to offer is still the product that's in demand by these new and emerging markets and the new demands that people are making?
Well, I suppose we always need to look at emerging markets and see what product suits them. But if you look at the key markets for us, which is still the UK, Europe and the US, and look at the product that's in the west of Ireland, if you take the golfing in particular, we're riding, I suppose, on the crest of a wave on the back of the success by some of our golfers over the last few years. And we have a fantastic product, but we really need to get it out there that we're open for business, that the product is actually now representing great value, because for a number of years we probably were overpriced, to be honest, and now value is coming back into the market. Prices have come down, we are now more competitive, but there's still a preconception out there that Ireland is expensive, and we need to address that.
Indeed, and of course it's very difficult to address, and I'm very conscious of that, particularly in the British market, and it takes time also. I mean, again, it's frustrating. You'd love to get the message straight through that we're good value again, but it just takes a little time and a little patience, but at least it started, and it's good that competitiveness is returning to the industry on the ground.
Absolutely, you're right. We need to work. It's going to be a slow burn. And I think we need to really drive the whole Irish experience a lot harder.
Yeah.
We need to go back to what we were good at.
Sure.
Being the Ireland of welcomes, having the product right, having it priced right.
And of course, it's great to hear you say that, because it's so true. It's a time that we all got to pull together, all sectors of the industry in the island. And I know that it's good to hear you're working closely with Fáilte Ireland and Tourism Ireland on new route development, because that's the key. We all got to sing out the same hymn book now.
We do.
Yeah.
You know, I think for us to succeed, we all need to have a common approach, a common target.
Absolutely.
And that's the only way we'll achieve.
Absolutely.
And, you know, there's nothing like a recession or an economic downturn sometimes to really get
Focus
people
the mind.
focused.
That's
exactly.
true. Yeah.
And working together. And we're beginning to see some of the fruits of that.
Yeah. Terrific. Well, just as an Aer Lingus plane is revving up and about to pass your window and blow us out of it on noise, we'll leave it there. Wishing you the very best, Mary. Thank you for talking to us, and we look forward to working with you as part of the recovery of tourism in the West.
Thank you, Eamon.